Where am I? I can't see anything. Oh, oh, there we go. What's up, everyone? We'll see how this goes. What's up, JMZ, Pudgy, Large Marge, Chris? How's it going? Good evening. Patrick, who is camped out at the 24 hours in old Playboy mountain bike race, drinking beers in the desert. Nice. Rick, what's up? Joel, hey, how's it going, Joel? Yeah, Joel's down this way. I am. Let me know how every. Oh, that looks like the volume's a little hot, huh? See if I could turn that down. Hey, Jay Dandy Farley. Yes, I'm sitting in a hotel in Charlotte, filming a show called Auto Pros on the Road for a company that's based in Fair Lawn called Babcock's, and I'm just running a camera down here. But uh, one of the guys who's the director this year is someone who's been friends with me for 20 years, so even though I'm just a camera guy, he values my input, so we're working together really well. We have a 24-year-old guy out of college with us who's working. He works for Babcock's. He's shooting a Black Magic, and he seems to be catching on to what we're doing really well. So three of us, Wes the director is running a camera, me, and the younger guy, and then we have two hosts, and then we have an audio guy. So six-person crew, two cars down here, and it's been interesting. Today we were at an amazing resto shop that had like, if you like 60s muscle cars, which I do, they had everything. Even a cool old bicycle in their lobby, early 1920s bike. Yesterday we did some footage over at Indian Motorcycles of Charlotte, and someone had a oh, what's the mountain bike brand that Terry B rides? Trying to think of there was a really nice mountain bike that I've never actually seen one in person. Trans, what God, what is the name of that brand? I can't think of it, but and I kept wanting to ask the owner of the dealership whose bike that was, and I just kind of ran out of time on that because we've been so busy. So I haven't ridden a bike all week. We flew down on Saturday morning, so I have not been on a bike. I haven't had the time. By the time I get back to the hotel room every evening, I'm pretty dead, tired from. I'm using it's like a backpack and it hangs my R5, which is actually shooting me right now, in front of my face. And so it gives me this third point of contact. And I've basically been shooting video with this floating camera. And so we're shooting interviews and then we're shooting B roll, which I enjoy even more because I get to do like artsy SloMo type stuff. I've been using my GoPro. I've been documenting this trip. It'll go on the other channel that I do, my photography channel, since I'm not riding bikes on this trip at all. But yeah, um, it's been a really fun trip. A lot of interesting places. So basically, the show is if you've ever seen American Pickers, uh, it's kind of that style concept. Two people riding around to explore stuff. But in our case, we're going to garages and automotive shops. So from like one place was your typical, like they said their number one customer is soccer moms, but they just had an interesting story to tell. So we're trying to tell their story, interview their techs. Techs, if you don't know, is what mechanics prefer as their term, which makes sense because with all the technology in cars now, they're basically hooking up computers and all different scan tools to these things to figure out the problems. Unless you're just doing a brake job, you're programming now. It's crazy. It's really interesting. I enjoy it. As you guys probably know, I enjoy learning about anything. I miss riding bikes, but today it was 70 degrees and Charlotte's traffic, so as Joel would know, is horrible. 77 runs right through town, but they have an inner belt and an outer belt. And we're staying up in Huntersville, which is like 15, 20 minutes from downtown. But so today, after we went to Charlotte Motor Speedway to do some B roll after we did our normal stuff, so we could do that slice of life, what Charlotte like type stuff. And so we shot at the track. We actually drove right in. There was a gate open, and we knew we were going to get kicked out eventually, but caught a bunch of B roll until they politely kicked us out of where we shouldn't have been. But it was going to be like we knew we would get caught in Charlotte traffic to get back up here, and the traffic's horrible here. It's like if you're from home, it's kind of like we're in Montrose. You wouldn't want to go driving down Market at 5 o'clock or whatever kind of that vibe. Suburban, getting out to Fairlawn or whatever at rush hour. Uh, I think a better analogy would be some busy suburb of Cleveland, whatever. But so we were like, why do that? So I pulled up a map, pulled up Google Maps. I'm like, well, there's a brewery 2 miles down the road, and so today was 70 degrees. I just got back from just got back a little while ago. I've been trying to get this stream going for about 45 minutes, and I talked to Aaron for 15, 20 minutes before that. But yeah, sat outside in 70-degree weather at this cool little brewery, which was in a 1910 mill, yeah, and had a few beers, which was really, really nice. So yeah, that's what's going on with me right now. Let me jump into some of these comments and see what you guys are talking about if I can. And then I'll see if you guys are saying that this is not working at all. It seems to be working. It's hard to switch between screens because I'm just on my laptop. So I don't have the dual monitors where I could see what's going on and all that kind of stuff. But yeah. Oh, Pudgy said it looks like I'm in a hotel. Yeah, definitely. No room service for beer, but there's a Food Lion across the street. So I do have a. This is a Triple C Brewing from here in Charlotte. I don't have my screen up, so I can't tell if it's focused. But yeah, it's a double IPA. It tastes a lot like those Jackie O's series with the art on them. It has that really similar flavor to that. I've drank a lot of good beers out here. Joe, who's one of the hosts, is really into finding like good beer. So we've had a lot of really good barbecue and stuff like that. And then we've always been trying to find a place that has good beer. So dinners have been great every time. Last night we kind of went like free time if anyone wants to go. And we all kind of came back to the room. I watched some Olympics, worked on some of my photos that I've taken on the trip. And then four of us were still up for going out. So we went to a cool place where they had iPads because their beer list was so extensive. You scrolled through the iPad and you could save beers you were interested in and go back to, and then just like a wall of taps type place. So let's see. Hey, what's up, traveling through? Transition, yeah, Transition. You guys got the brand that I was thinking of that Terry B rides. Yeah, so there's a really cool hardtail Transition at the Indian dealership, but I never got to find out about it. I didn't see what Muskrat said. Oh, I have it on top chat. I'm missing some of the comments. Sorry, guys. Uh, my laptop is like an Ultrabook, and it's like 5 years old. It still runs fine for what it is, but it's definitely not made to power a lot of stuff. Like I could edit photos. I tried to bring some of my video footage in, and it was not having it. We're also shooting in 4K, and we're shooting in log so we can match different camera brands because I'm shooting my R5. And for the first day, I shot some of the SloMo with the R5. It like shut, like the files were so massive. It was like filling up the hard drive, so we stopped doing that. But yeah, I have the uh, I have the Olympics on right here. That's what's lighting this side of my face. There's a TV right here. So I've been watching the Olympics like crazy. Hey, what's up, Abracadab, Brad? What's up, Funny Brad is your name. Let me scroll back up and see what I was missing a little bit. Oh, I see Musgrave said hi. You guys were saying transition. I'm glad you got I, I don't know how from that little bit of information you guys pulled out the name of that bike brand, but I'm impressed. So stream is running well. I'm amazed because even to post a story to Instagram from up here, I like edit some photos, upload them to the cloud, download them to my phone, and it seems like it's just crawling. So I'm impressed that the stream is working and OBS is working and all that kind of stuff. So good to hear from you, Funny Brad. I heard at home, right? Is tonight the night where it rained all day and it's turning to ice as it gets colder? We're really worried about the flight home. Saturday morning, we're going to go through Washington, D.C. And on the way here, we got stuck in a line to get our wings de-iced in Washington, D.C. last Saturday. I think we sat on the runway so long they let people get off the plane if they wanted to go get food and all that stuff. So I'm worried about flying through Washington again on the way back. So hopefully this bad weather gets out of the way now. Can I hook a beer to that suspension rig? So, Rick, we were joking about the fact that the camera is cantilevered over my head. And I was like, this would be so funny to go wander around somewhere and hang other things from it. We got to shoot at the NASCAR Hall of Fame where they were closed, and we were making all those jokes about how I'm like trying to just, I was walking real far forward, like joking around about that kind of stuff too. But yeah, a MacBook would fix this. A MacBook would cost what, $3,500. This computer cost me a grand, and it's lasted 6 years. And I don't edit on. I don't need an editable Mac. Like, I yeah, I do professional work. I don't work on laptops. I work on PC towers. Yeah. No, there's no reason. Yeah. I mean, you could get an M1 Mac and they could render stuff fast. I get that, but yeah, I'm not gonna work on one monitor on a laptop. I've got 6 hard drives hooked up to my desktop at home. 4K monitor, a second monitor. I don't have any need for some $3,000 laptop, but and I'm not editing this project. I we dump my cards in on my friend Wes's computer every night. Like, Brad said, the rain was icing your windows on the way home for sure. Yeah, I heard that yesterday you guys had nice weather. So when we got here, it was chilly, but again, the standard of just our first day, it only topped out at like 42 degrees. It was sunny, so it looked pretty, and we got some great magic hour photos. If you follow me on, if you follow my photography account on Instagram, you probably saw a little of how pretty it looked down here. But yeah, it was definitely chilly, and today was the first truly warm day where it was like sit outside, and we're like, when are we going to get this again? And I know yesterday you guys had it kind of nice at home. How much of the snow melted? Is there still snow covering the ground in Akron? Rick said 69 in Philly. Crazy. Picture in the background. I haven't looked at what it is either. Oh, it's abstract art. It's just like a couple brush strokes. It's yeah. There's I couldn't even describe it. It's like just some black brush strokes. But Dylan says he sold his PC tower for the N1 Mac. Well, then you have to use Mac software, which I hate. So yeah, it's the only thing I'll ever own by Apple, which is the iPhone. And I have a horrible relationship with these things too. But yeah, I don't want to mess with Apple software as a PC lifer. It's just I don't enjoy it. So even I've seen the speeds that M1s are rendering files. I get it, but yeah, I had no interest. Pudgy said Central Ohio mostly without snow now. Oh, yeah. I heard there were flood warnings at home. Muskrat said Cuyahoga is very high, trees and animals washing away. I'm sure. Yeah, I know how horrible. If the rain all comes at once, how horrible it gets there in the Cuyahoga Valley. Having worked down there for almost a decade. Rick only owns Max and Rivs. Yeah. And funny Brad is saying the towpath was still not clear. The pay parts are more open, but not after tonight. Yeah. Huh. I was wondering what it's going to be like because if we can get home in one day, I am not counting on. I am not counting on it being quick. I should be home noonish or back to act. I'm flying into Cleveland, so actually home by 2 if everything went according to schedule. I am not counting on that, but I was hoping that like Sunday I could ride my bike real far because I'm going to be itching to ride my bike, obviously. And then I have a really busy week next week. I still plan to stream both nights, but I have two really big photo shoots, big portrait sessions traveling to the job set up, and then a couple other three or four one-off jobs next week. So yeah, so Sunday I was hoping that if I Saturday goes according to plan, I could get out and get a decent ride. But I'm also wondering what the terrain will look like back home. So Dimitri, hey, what's up, man? Dimitri says Toronto is getting a new dumping right now. Yeah, I bet the temperature dropped earlier for you guys, right? Yeah, I saw the weekend was going to be cold, Farley, so the snow would be back by the time I'm home. Yeah. Gravel specific hip waders. Nice traveling through. Yeah, I haven't checked on the weather back home since a couple days ago. But yeah, I think, Rick, you've just been lucky with being on the edge of where the weather has been bad this year. Yeah, it's been crazy. When we were sitting there in the 70 degrees and talking about um, the weather back home, I was saying how stir crazy I'm going just from usually the thing that like keeps me getting through the winter is that we could still just get out and ride our bikes and build up some heat and drink some beers, but it's been all these short rides this year, and it's just because we can't get on the trails in the past, and it's frustrating. So I did go to one neighborhood. So Charlotte is like a crazy driving town, and NASCAR Hall of Fame is here and the Speedway. So it's and all like I said, all the freeways and the inner belt and the outer belt and 77 and all that kind of stuff. But we did go to one neighborhood that was really cool and walkable and pedestrian friendly, and they call it, I believe, Noda. And they had turned this old textile factory into lofts, and we went to the brewery over there, and we were capturing footage, but tons of cool stores. And over there, I saw a lot of people riding bikes, like commuters and stuff like that. And we also today we were in. I'm trying to think. Um, Joel would probably know it if I could pull out the name of the town we went to for our shoot today, where all the classic cars were. There was bike signs everywhere, and it seemed like a real place that like roadies would ride a lot. And then Bike Route 2, like National Bike Route 2, which I'm not sure if that is a. Um, it'll be too hard for me to try and Google this right now, but I intended to. So I don't know if that's a north-south bike route, designated bike route. So I saw a lot of signs for that. But yeah, Charlotte downtown, we didn't get to spend a ton of time, and I did see some bike infrastructure. But yeah, like I said, there is definitely a traffic issue here, and there must be some pinch points as well. There's some lakes north of Charlotte, which probably turned it into a little bit of a pinch point for bike stuff. But yeah, yeah, Wadsworth might be a good route for Sunday. Funny Brad. Hey, what's up, Gary? Gary said it was 81 on his routes today. 81 on his ride today. Nice. Oh, I'm up for 81. Yeah, I'm up for 81 right now. 81 would feel really warm for us right now. Oh yeah, Joel said glad I like Noda, and then we also got to Joel Camp. Is that Camp North? There's another word in there. Camp North End, which was nothing was open when we were there, but the lights were on, and it was just absolutely beautiful. So I think it's Camp North End. Correct me, but it's an old Model T plant that they've turned into a bunch of little artist galleries, and there was a little motorcycle shop in there, and then they've this whole row of vintage Airstreams that had different things from different food trucks to little breweries in there and like beer taps. I'm thinking I'm gonna try and get that back there tomorrow evening if I can. One of the coolest looking things I've seen. Joel told me. I think Joel also brought that up, but also my buddy Kyle. hit me up about it, like, and it was really, really cool. Some of the skyline photos I posted, if anyone saw, were on Instagram and Facebook, were on the way there, and just like super cool part of town. Yeah, even with nothing open, I was like amazed by it. So, yeah. Yeah, Noda was awesome. We went to Heist Brewing in Noda, Joel. But we walked it, like I said, and got B-roll and all that kind of stuff. But then we sat down and had a beer at Heist, which was really cool brewery, really good beer. So Gary's local bike shop is Walmart. Yeah, I saw today a couple cool bike shops as we were driving. Again, haven't had the chance. Like I said, I'm hoping to get downtown tomorrow and explore a little bit and get some footage for the show downtown, and then maybe get back to the camp north end if that's what it's called. So yeah, so Joel, that yeah, it's an old Model T factory that has been. It's just amazing, absolutely amazing. Oh, JMZ said those train track photos were legit. So that was heading between Noda and the Camp North End area. And we actually drove over this bridge where those train track photos were. I think no, I didn't make a hard post, but we actually turned around. That's one thing that's fun about being with a bunch of other visual people. Everyone was like, "Look at that!" And everyone's like trying to scramble to get their cameras and their phones, and it's like, no, let's turn around. We ended up parking and like running up the bridge and getting up there, and it was just beautiful. Yeah. Let me see if I could. Let me see if I could figure out how to pull that up while we're talking. My computer crashed right before the stream, guys, so I did have some stuff organized to be able to share and show, and even I need to get the Discord back up here. But yeah, my goal was like I'd at least get on till 10 o'clock and do a little thing to check in because I missed doing the chats, and I'm like I'm here at the hotel room anyway, so why not do this? I've just been getting back to the room around 8 or 9 and just watching some Olympics. It's kind of cool because back here where that picture you were talking about is like a couch and a little coffee table. I'm sitting at a desk, and behind me it's open to the bed, and the TV is right here, so I could turn it towards the couch, and then get in bed, and you could turn it towards the bed. So it's kind of a cool little suite. The room is. Trying to get this up, and I can't now see what I'm doing, but it must be. This is making the computer churn to try and do so much. But like I said, this is really the only reason I own a laptop is when I'm traveling. I want to have a little bit of access to stuff, but I'm just not a laptop user. So, mm, oh yeah, so there it is. You can see that's a little cut off, but how cool that was. So that's between Noda and Camp North End, and just what a cool why we would turn around for that. We spent a while there watching the sunset and watched the golden light just hit the train tracks like that. Absolutely stunning. But oh, now I'm gone. There, now I'm back. Hey, what's up, Robin? So you guys keep telling me how MacBooks don't crash. The director is downstairs. He's been cursing at his Mac like crazy. Uh, he's been having a rough time trying to keep everything going on it. So everyone who just like exalts Macs like they're flawless are liars. Because I have someone downstairs who is or one floor down who I'm working with who is at the end of his wits. He's brought his PC tower into the company where he works to use it instead of his Mac. So yeah, teach their own. Uh, I don't need a like. I'm not a fanboy of anything. I'm not a fanboy of Canon. One of the guys shooting a Panasonic cinema camera looks beautiful. The other guy is shooting a Black Magic and some of his footage. You know, different things, different strokes for different folks. The R5's 4K 120 footage is among the best in the business. But yeah, so bring the couch. Yeah, I'm trying to. I would love to show a couple more of the photos of the places I'm talking about, but I'm not sure if I could pull that off on this stream. Yeah, we got some beautiful golden hour. Tonight was cloudy, and we still got some really cool photos as we were out and about. And I switched, so I've got the camera so I could switch between doing the video work that I need to do and then still be able to take photos real quick. But yeah, I'm shooting through a bunch of different settings because for the interviews, I'm shooting 4K log, C-Log 3 for the Canon and, 24 frames a second and all that. And then I'm trying to get over to the 120 now, which I'm switching to 1080 and we're going to upres because we were filling up cards so fast. And then I'm trying to switch it over back to photo mode so I could get some cool photos, and they want some photos, and obviously I want photos. And then I'm also running, so in the car, when the two hosts are driving, I'm hooking up a couple DJI Osmos that are the companies, and sometimes also mounting a GoPro on the hood, pointing to the windshield. So, yeah, doing a lot. you know, this channel, and that's what I've always said about this channel, is the reason I do it is to prepare myself for, commercial work. And if I hadn't been doing all these cycling videos and all that stuff, I would be way less prepared for like what I'm doing on this trip and being able to manage a lot of things. So it's definitely worth it. So oh, you Rick, you shoot tethered a lot. Yeah, I don't shoot tethered that much. With the flip screen now on the R5 and stuff like that, I just don't shoot tethered that much anymore. And with the Wi-Fi to my phone, that I can control my phone with the camera, uh, that's changed a lot for me as well. Then now that the Wi-Fi is the 5 gigahertz and it's fast, it makes a really big difference. JMZ said upres, he's lost. So I could shoot the 1080 in slow-mo, or the slow-mo in 1080 instead of 4K, which 4K just means it's 10 times the size of. So if you think of your screen, 1080, 4K is this big. Uh, we could just take that 1080 and expand it, and the R5 shoots in such well quality, and Premiere Pro, which is what we all use, Babcock uses and I use as well, is really good at upresing. And like Dylan had suggested, if you do a two pass when you render it so it's a viewable file out, it just looks good enough. I do that a lot when I mix GoPro and R5 footage. I shoot the GoPro in 4K, and a lot of times, like when I'm talking to my camera on any of my videos, like in the studio, like or down where I do the normal streams from, I'm just shooting that in 1080 to save space. The R5 shoots such more beautiful files that even though I'm scaling them up to 4K, they still look better than the GoPro footage that is natively in 4K. So it's not having an effect by the time YouTube does their compression on it and all that. If any of that makes any sense, but yeah. Hear that? We're worth it. Yeah, it's interesting too. I enjoy working with other people to like on a trip like this to get their best practices and what they're doing. And shooting in log is very hard because you get this flat gray. If you guys don't know what log is, it's basically like it's maximizing what the sensor can do. In your mind, you would think that's bringing vibrant colors and all this stuff, but it's the opposite. It's giving you a very flat file. So in post, you can bring down highlights, bring up shadows, bring in all this color, and have all this control after the fact. So when you're looking at the back screen, it's very hard to tell what's going on, and I don't shoot in log very much. So that's one thing I've been getting used to, but I read a bunch of information about best practicing. So best practices for log. So I'm not shooting in the ISOs I'm used to, and you have to slightly overexpose. So there's just a ton going on. I have my camera rigged out in a cage and all these accessories on it. So yeah, whole different world. But yeah, I am talking about my log. Yeah, it's cool. It's enjoyable to try and do a completely professional thing as a part of a crew, and then also to know I'm not the one who's going to have to edit it. Three cameras running at almost all times. We're doing so when we're doing an interview. Uh, I'm covering like usually the person that's from the shop. One and we're standing, so I'm covering the person from the shop standing here, shooting this way. The young dude is shooting the person interviewing, and then Wes, the director, is keeping a wide angle. But there's other times where we're on the move and we're all moving around and then repositioning as they stop to talk about cars. So we're constantly communicating and looking at where each other are going. And if I have a shot and I could see I could like all the people talking are in my shot and I see Wes needs to readjust, then I'm looking over and I'm like, I need to hold my shot till he gets in position. And then once I see he's in position, I could move to get reframe the shot better. And so it's like we've become really good at like all like communicating each other by watching, or if we're close to each other, I will like look back at their screen and make sure that like they're getting something different than I'm getting. And yeah, it's this whole dance that we do, and it's kind of cool. It's interesting, and it's making me a better, such a better, videographer. So, so Rick, I'm not shooting with a monitor since and you can do that, and we have a monitor I could use. So Rick said shoot and log monitor in Rec 709, which is true, not a perfect representation, but works. Wes is doing that. I'm hanging the camera right in front of me, and so I don't want an external monitor because it'd have to be rigged up to the side. And since I'm not used to it, it throws off my camera movements. I learned that when we did this show in Louisville. I didn't like it. So I'm just trying to mentally best shoot in log for the way I'm physically shooting. So if that makes sense as well. But yeah, so yeah, input LUT on the screen. Canon has an assist, and everything I read and when I tried it said it's not great on the R5. So I've decided to stick with the LUT viewing and just know that I need to be one stop overexposed, 800 ISO, so it's not too noisy after it's processed. So I'm like doing a lot of it mentally. But if I did this stuff all the time, like Dylan, I know you understand cinematography better than I do, then I would probably be making all these adjustments and stuff like that. And I think we might do a third season in Detroit, and so then I would up my game even a little more with this kind of stuff and make sure I'm rigged out a little better and all that. But yeah. Let me see if I could pull up some of the photos that everybody else has posted, or if anyone has posted. I'm way behind on Discord, as you guys know. I'm like, when I get back to the room, and this is not my personality in general, but uh, like I'm really cool with just like watching the Olympics, like mentally checking out, like yeah, so it's like I haven't got into the. I've glanced at the Discord a little bit, and it's like, I usually like to jump in there and like offer my 2 cents and all that stuff. But it's like kind of like, yeah, I'm pretty been pretty mentally fried when I get back to the room. So yeah, I saw it. Well, the R5, and remember, so my camera is not a cinema camera. It's a photography focused camera that can do video really well. Like Canon makes cameras that like they even made a new version of the R5 that has all the cinema features you would need as a cinematographer. And again, I'm a commercial photographer who does some video work on my own, and now I'm doing freelance cinematography on this gig. So they still figured, like Wes, the director, still figured he's like, you'll still be better off running your R5 than you would if we just throw something you're not used to in your hands. So they have two Panasonic cinema camera, and then also an SH1. So, and we just didn't have the time to get one of those in my hands to make me comfortable. Like last time I shot an FX3, and I know they're brilliant little cinema cameras, but Sony's language is so foreign to me that every car trip I was Googling stuff to figure out how to get the Sony set up, and we just decided that doesn't make sense to do. So yeah, the R5 is not a cinema camera, even though it's can be capable of doing some tweaks to get it close enough. Yeah, I mean it's a camera that can do 8K RAW, so it's not like an uncapable camera, but it's just not built as a cinema camera at the same time. So let's see if I could get the Discord up here and see if I could see if anyone dropped any of the drink pics or anything like that, or bike pics. I did see some bike pics before I came on. I think I got it. Uh, so Musgrave is drinking a Conway's. Yeah, Great Lakes. It should be a just a March seasonal, but as soon as Christmas ale is gone, they put it out. So yeah, they're Irish red ale, which I like. What's Pudge you got? Palm Sway IPA. Oh, Coronado Brewing. Yeah, Palm Sway IPA, Island Style India Pale Ale. JMZ has a bourbon barrel aged imperial. What does that say? Sponge candy stout. Bourbon barrel aged stout made with, what is that? Watson's sponge candy. Contains lactose. I don't know what sponge candy is. That's a new term to me. 10%. So he's drinking a big boy. I've been drinking mostly hazies. There's a ton of breweries in Charlotte, and then even where we are in Huntersville, and like I said, we were just in some small town today just to avoid getting on the freeway. But I've been drinking a lot of good hazies. I had a good stout today too at the brewery. But and Large is drinking an Insane Wanderer hazy. Oh, they changed the can on that one, huh? Nice. Am I not on there anymore? Huh. I'm streaming with the R5, and I haven't done that since I first got it, because I just don't want to put the miles on it doing this since I have the 5D4 to do that. And I have the 5D4 on this trip too, but um, I wanted the autofocus because I'm just not set up in the way I normally would be. But where'd my chat go? Oh, there we go. Oh, a little, are we buffering a little bit? It's showing me some buffering, but yeah. Lost my train of thought because I saw some buffering. Get back to this chat a little bit. Rick asks if I'm charging for the R5 rental. Yeah, I kind of built that into the billing. I gave him a pretty high rate, so yeah. But Wes told me he's like definitely bill extra if you need to. So yeah. Rick says 8K RAW is for 30 seconds, then it vanishes in a ball of flame. Jared Poland from Frono's Photos shoots all his videos in 8K RAW on the Canon R5. They've fixed most the overheating problems with the R5. The FX3s were overheating on us in Louisville, and everyone says Sony's don't overheat. So, yeah. Again, not cinema cameras, though, so I'm not going to argue with either of that. So, it doesn't have a fan in it. It's not a cinema camera. I'm not going to say it would never overheat. But 8K RAW, the problem isn't the heat overheating. It's a gig. It uses a gig every like 15 seconds. So the memory is the problem with the 8K RAW. So just raw dog in 8K. Yeah. I was saying on this we should pick something like one thing that we should shoot a couple things in 8K RAW to give them that like really cool stuff so they could like do awesome coloring and like full cropping and panning type stuff out of it. But yeah. What's up, party size? Yeah, we're kind of back to our roots, nerding out about photography over here. But yeah, what can I say? Like, that's what I'm out here doing, and that's what my career is. So yeah, streams might be crossing. It's not 10 p.m. Be nice, Rick. Yeah. Oh damn, skipped ahead. James, he said, "Oh, 10% on his beer. The second one is kicking his butt." Yeah. Yeah, what is that new Surly? I saw that when I was out and about today. Surly released a new bike, didn't they? Um, exactly what we were talking about with doing the news, but yeah, you guys would know better. Yeah, Ghost something. What is it called? The Ghost something? Ghostivus. Ghost Grappler. Funny Brad says. I should try and pull this up here. Drop bar adventure bike. Yeah. Oh, Brad said Surly Fargo. Huh. Yeah, so yeah, I'm sure you guys have all had a bigger chance. I just looked at it and I'm like, what's this new bike that has a top tube that doesn't go in the right direction? Or you guys are saying it's a Steel Fargo? I'll look it up here. Bear with me on the slowness of my internet here. I really can't believe OBS is working. Like I said earlier, it's been hard to post Instagram stories here, so I'm amazed that I can stream. And also one screen, so I can't Google and see what I'm doing at the same time. So Ghost Grappler, I got it up here on Bike Rumor. I want to find it on a website that makes the most sense to see it on. Bikepacking.com, I think that'd be. Oh, they got a review already, huh? Here we go. Let me get this screen framed up right. All right. I won't be able to see you guys for a second, but I'm going to look at the website. The brand's first real disruptor bike in a while. So what makes it a disruptor? Dedicated drop bar trail bike built for bike packing excursion, single track sessions, and all day dirt rides. I wonder if they just get to this. Oh, here's a good photo. So I like the color. I definitely like the looks of that bike, and that's definitely got some. I'm not seeing the size yet, but those are definitely some thick tires that it's counting for. Horizontal dropouts I could see too. I assume. Well, look at that. I'm looking at the chain stays, and even though it's one by, it looks like you could put a two by on there with how far back that goes if you want to have a, you know, if you're not a double drivetrain guy. Uh, let's see specs. So 29 by 2.1. That's the max, huh? It looks like it would clear even bigger tires than that. 30 pounds. So that must be fully built up. That's not a lightweight. That's not a lightweight bike by any means, huh? Oh, so if you go 27.5, you could get 2.8s on there. Okay, that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, that makes more sense. I'm like, 2.1 cannot be the max on this bike. Yeah, so 650, you get 2.8s, huh? How much space was there in there? Oh, so this is a pretty long wheelbase as well. Like mountain bike wheelbase territory, huh? Definitely, even though it's got the slanted top tube, like with the frame bag they have in there in this pic, it still looks like you could put in this pic, ton of space in there. Yeah, mounts everywhere. Let's see their other. Beautiful photos in this review, that's for sure. So you guys were thinking it's overpriced at 2 grand? It doesn't seem overpriced to me. Oh, because it comes with the build kit early spec'd on the Ghost Grappler is a little unexpected. Micro Shift Advent X10 speed drivetrain. Hmm. I can't speak to that. I mean, I've had some micro shift components, but I'm sure these are much nicer than anything I've ever tried by them. It's probably too what they can get, right? I mean, if they wanted to drop a new bike, they might have just been limited in what they could actually source. It is so interesting. Even the so yeah, everything is micro shift, huh? The derailleurs, cassette, chain, or not chain, but shifters. So crankset is someone said no name crankset. Samox two piece boost 32. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that brand. I know, so I can't say. Comes with the salsa cow chipper bars, Cane Creek headset. So and then again Sam Oaks bottom bracket, Tektro brakes. Sure seems like they're just sourcing it with what they were able to get their hands on. Wouldn't be surprised to see a build come out later, right, with the higher end SRAM stuff. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't see the comments right now. I'll jump into those in a second. Look at that water mount. I've never seen that water bottle mount like that on the rear of the bike. I saw how it has that kind of like vertical part of the chainstay. That's interesting. So they have two mounting points on the vertical part of the chainstay. That is something I haven't seen. Uh, that's pretty cool. I don't know. That's kind of cool. All right. Oh. Yeah, why does the R5 keep going to sleep unless I press the triggering button? Let's see what you guys think of this now. Or did I lose you guys? Oh. Yeah, these comments have to catch up. Give me a minute. It's slow here. It's slow. I see that you guys are talking that Lanky's in the house. I can't see his comment yet. Traveling through said sup with Sterling Steel, China. Yeah, Sterling and all QBP brands they source good steel from Taiwan. I mean, can't put down Taiwanese steel. Yeah. Just so Dylan said it's overbuilt for most people and uses. Doesn't have a springy, lively ride of some other steel frames with thinner walls. If we're still talking about the bike, I haven't got back through. Yeah, I don't think putting down. I mean, Taiwanese steel is real. I mean, like they they know what they're doing. I mean, they're factories that were spec'd by American and European companies for sure. So Pudgy said a lot of reputable brands are specking with microshift as OEM, not due to supply issues. Okay, yeah, yeah. I know. I didn't know that because I guess I wasn't seeing like OEM microshift until the pandemic, but that doesn't mean you know. Like you said, Surly Steel, not real. I don't know. Look at large as like as All City, uh, uh, the fast one. What's or Surly Pacer, lightweight steel bikes. Yeah, QBP knows how to source good steel from Taiwan, as does the rest of the bike industry. Oh, did PLP already drop a review of this bike? I didn't see it yet. I haven't, like I said, I haven't even like clicked onto YouTube because I got my small laptop here and a big TV up here to just chill out and watch the Olympics on. But yeah, 1800 doesn't seem bad to me too. Party size said it can do 2 by, which I was asking about earlier. It sure looked like it could do 2 by. Rick said he hates the surly dropouts. Um, and Large agreed. He said he thinks they'll spec it with nicer stuff when they can actually get it. So, a couple different opinions there, but yeah. Party size called them trash parts. I oh, Lanky, yeah, you do have the VGO. They are 1 year emoji. Oh, Blue Lug also did a video. I'll have to catch up on all this stuff when I get home. Probably be catching up on all this stuff sitting at the airport, I'm guessing, on Saturday. But Surly's reach is too long. I like it. I'm a long armed guy. Like, I really liked it. Erin's Pacer. Erin's, obviously her Pacer is way too small for me, but I could actually raise the seat post and be comfortable on it. I like a long reach, but I get it. Yeah. All cities and Surly's both have long reaches, don't they? Yeah, I don't know if Microshift will ever fall by the wayside. They could definitely do stuff cheaper, right? Plus, Microshift makes stuff that works for that SRAM and Shimano won't do anymore. So like 8-speed drifters, like SRAM and Shimano, aren't going to make 8-speed drifters anymore. So Microshift has its place for sure, and I think they've upped their game on the newer stuff. At least, I mean, I don't think Surly would be dropping it on that if they would wait on the whole frame if it wasn't going to be worthwhile. But yeah. Abracadabra said, "Let's go to the Taiwan map." That'd probably melt this laptop, but yeah. Oh yeah, Ben Zigzag. I mean, yeah, yeah. Far East steel has been great for such a long time. Well, that mountain bike I just bought, early '90s, with the Tong Ultralight. I mean, that's wonderful, lightweight, thin-walled steel. Tonga was building um, such thin wall steel bikes that some people are actually worried they were making too light a frame. So, yeah, yeah, there's no Columbus and Reynolds. I love them too, and they definitely have a much better reputation because one is English and one's Italian, but they're no more farther advanced than the stuff you could get from Taiwan. I don't believe. Uh, People are saying that the tongue that was in the, as we were talking about when I was tearing them down the stream, Paramounts, um, that the Japan amounts is like the nerds and the people, nerds in the Schwinn world talk about that the Tong steel was better than the Columbus SLX that they were using on the Paramounts that were built at Waterford. So I, I, I don't, that's super nerdy stuff, but there's Far East steel that's totally fine. And not just totally fine, that's totally great. But yeah. Yeah, Dylan was just talking about this actual specific bike and not about that the where the steel is from. He was talking about this bike won't have as lively of a ride. Yeah, I mean it's a 30-pound bike, right? But it's made to be a heavy. Isn't it made to support a lot of weight for touring with a lot of load? So oh, and party size, I get what you're saying there. With you were just saying that stuff in this price range would be spec'd with decent Shimano, and I'm just wondering. And Large said this, and maybe I think he's being. It's probably maybe they just didn't want to release something and spec it with Shimano that you weren't able to get. So of course they could get some, and they could get some SRAM stuff, and I'm wondering if they just didn't want to put out a bike that's like, yeah, 500 of you and 10 lucky local bike shops can get the GRX build or whatever SRAM would call their thing with the big chunky other ugly derailleurs. Yeah. Like he said, he agrees with Dylan. Surly Steel is fine. It's just not going to offer a great ride, and that's why it just depends on the bike, And yeah, Surly is usually a heavier, it seems, because they don't make lightweight road bikes, and that's not their market anymore. But it, QBP can make lightweight steel bikes, obviously. Like this Abercat Funny Brad got it right, the Zigzag. So it's not like that brand or that whole company doesn't know how to do that. Surly's brand is that's what they go that's what their thing is, right? Whereas you know, All City makes great lightweight steel bikes when they want to. So Traveling Through says, I feel dirty talking about Surly like this. Let's just move on to maps. Rick said, good tires, seat, and bars, and the Ghost will ride great. And I've always said like that. I thought that like frame material didn't mean as much, but then when I rode Otis's Salsa War Road, I was surprised because a lightweight carbon frame that had these super skinny um, seat stays, I thought that that kind of carbon layup was going to be made to have like this great feel, but that it wouldn't matter because that bike can fit such fat tires. And I rode that bike on fat tires, and the frame material still mattered. So I agree on one level. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. Like I think someone who thinks their ride is too harsh should try a Brook saddle or try a different saddle, and should try real more supple tires. Some, you know, alternate Amcos, Rene Hurst, some Terravales like we talk about. There's a lot of great tires out there. So I'm not discounting that, but frame material and not just material, but the way the material is used still does matter. There's super springy steel and there's stiff steel and there's carbon layups that could give a bike a lot of vibration dampening, and there's carbon layups that don't. So yeah, it matter. It has more of an effect that I expected even on wide tired bikes. I said on this live stream, I'm like, I bet the fact that this bike is carbon isn't going to make it stiff when I rode Otis's bike for a couple weeks because how fat the tires were, and I was straight up wrong. I felt like I was getting bounced around on industrial gravel on that bike. But, you know. Oh, and Large said Cannondale is doing microshift on their lower end topstone bikes that typically would have been cheaper SRAM and Shimano. Yeah, and I wonder if it gets to that point too where lower end Shimano and SRAM microshift might be able to be at a price point with better shifting. I don't know. I'm guessing that's a possibility. So, and Pudgy said specialized as well. It seems like something that would be a reasonable thing, you know. And then Pudgy says you buy Surly to get a bomb-proof bike that doesn't break the bank and can do anything you want. So, yeah, I mean that's Surly's brand, right? Isn't that what they're going for? So, I think everyone here is mostly right, about what they're saying. It's just opinions on if that's what you want. If, Let me know if you think that's accurate. But Traveling Through says he likes All City, but he's not nuts about the paint jobs. I'm hit or miss from year to year. So it's like sometimes All City puts out a bike that I just am over the moon for. Like I think Large's Zigzag is one of the most beautiful bikes. I just think it's awesome. And the other iterations that year, um, there was an All-Tegra and a 105 build, and I thought they were both amazing looking. Um, I thought like for a while too, I really liked the Space Horses and Gorilla Monsoons. These last few years, they haven't been to my taste, but that's so hard to. Everyone's so different on that stuff. So Musgrave said QBP making plans to make bikes in Minnesota. We'll give a link in Discord later. Awesome. That's cool to hear. Yeah, because yeah they've been Taiwanese bikes. Oh, you guys are retracting all your messages now. Rick's got us early because it's a chick magnet, and that's being as big as QBP is, that makes sense to differentiate the brands. That's why like Aaron's Pacer, like Surly doesn't need a Pacer anymore, even though I think that's a great bike. Zigzag and stuff like that. They All City can make those kind of bikes, right? And so Pudgy said, and he would know this better than me. I don't know this, but he said between cheap Shimano SRAM or mid-range microshift, he'd take the microshift. So there you go. Oh, so Large is saying the paint designer is different on this latest round of All Cities. It's been a couple years since I've been crazy about any of the All Cities, but again, it's just personal taste. People are snapping them up like crazy, so I'm the odd man out. I think I've liked two things. I've liked the zigzags, which have a modern looking paint job, but I really liked the more retro, like kind of the Calnago look that All City originally had by having like the decals like in white, in the center of the down tube. Just obviously, as you guys know me, I like vintage stuff. And then when they did like, the vintage Peugeot look for a couple of years, even though Funny Brad decided to get his powder coated over that paint job. We always talk about this, but yeah, that was like one of my favorite All Cities. But oh, so Party Size was saying he doesn't like the cable routing or the hoods on the microshift stuff. So Pudgy, like you like that. I know you like that current Gorilla Monsoon, Pudgy. I'm on the fence about that one. I think it would grow on me. I could own that bike and not be mad about it. There's a couple of the All Cities from the last few years that I'm like, uh, I'm not going to name specific ones because I have so many friends who have them, but there's a couple that aren't. If I was spending full bike, brand new bike build, I would not, you want something that you love. You got to love your bike, especially if you're in the 2 to 3 grand range or above. But I think these would be 2 to 3 grand range. Yeah, you just got to love them. So, oh, Muskrat was saying on his link he wants to be sure. Yeah, save it for the news show. Yeah, breaking news. We go live to Michael Musgraves with QBP bringing manufacturing back to Minnesota. Rick did more in the 70s. What time is it? Oh, it's 10:06. So speaking of that, I'm just gonna riff on this joke, and you guys know me. Uh, this was just a goofy old school joke a guy made. We were walking through the Noda neighborhood, and these two kids saw us with all our kids, mid-20s maybe, with all our cameras, and the one guy was like, "You guys, what are you guys doing? You shooting porn?" And our one host looks at him, which is just amazing. He goes, "Oh, you recognize me?" And then he takes a breath and he looks and he goes, "You must watch a lot of gay porn." And like these dudes, like could barely walk. They were laughing so hard, like they like almost hit the floor as they like walked through this parking lot. And then the one turned around. He's like, "Man, you just made my day." And like I think Wes was able to capture it on camera. Just one of those ridiculous moments that, you know. So oh, so Party Size, you like the rose and gold GRX space horses? Yeah. Oh, Pudgy, you typically do not like all cities, but nice. But you like the paint on the gorilla. Yep. I liked those just solid color ones they were doing for a long time, just like the yellow and stuff like that. But simple, it was up my alley. Let's jump into the members break. Like I said, I have to be up early, and this trip with you, I don't know. These cameras, it's probably not sharp enough, but if you could see it in my eye, I have like heavy eyelids. But come back, chat for a couple more minutes, and then wrap it up. But let me get to the members video first. Good thing is I run the stream down in the studio with a portable SSD. Um, so I was able just to bring that, so I have all the regular stream videos and backgrounds that I use when I'm at home. So yeah, we'll go to that and we will be right back. I would just like to take this moment to thank the channel members whose names you see on the screen right now. Their financial support really does make it possible to continue to grow this channel. We will be back in a moment, so it's time to crack open another tea packet and start letting the F-bombs fly. Thanks, everyone.
tuna boat. Give me tuna boat. I want a tuna boat. Give me tuna boat. I want a tuna boat. Give me tuna boat. I want a tuna boat. Give me tuna boat. I want a tuna boat. Give me tuna boat.
Oh, no. Where am I? There we are. Oh, what I meant by sorry about that volume is when I add a video back in, it goes to full max, and we've had people listen on headphones before, so uh, if you're listening on headphones, that probably came in at full blast, and I didn't realize that I got up to, I just let it play. So yeah, that's one thing I have to remember is when I bring them, so on my laptop, bringing in that video into OBS for the first time, it was just on full blast. One thing I like here, so I have this tiny little tripod. I have the R5 behind the screen, so I'm not looking off in the distance when I'm talking to you guys. Now it probably looks a little more like your typical Zoom meeting, right? But Jamesy loud and proud, 2 to 4 life. Large saying, remember when we could ride the towpath? Yeah, it's so crazy. Like the ride we did, so the video I put out on Monday, that night ride, Large had planned kind of a cool route, and if you saw, we drank a beer under a bridge where you could tell there was a homeless encampment before, and like got a view of Summit Lake. And so for anyone around here, towpath where we're always riding that wooden boardwalk, that's in almost all my videos, over this lake. It's just like that's so normal to me, and we haven't been able to get out there. And then Kent. Like, I haven't been able to get out to Kent where we're always going out and hanging out at the restaurants where we went on Funny Brad's birthday. It's just been a weird winter, really weird. So, yeah. Yeah, Robin said RIP headphone users. Yeah, for sure. What were you guys saying? You're not a fan of German food or beer? We went to one. Here's a question for you guys, just out of curiosity, because I know we have a pretty good age spread, and I know anyone my age or older, the answer is going to be no. But let me ask anyways. So, when we were going out to dinner, I think last night, 2 nights ago, when the whole crew went out to dinner, when we had hit Noda and where I took the track photos, Jackie, one of the hosts, looked up this place that was like a German beer hall for food, and we decided to go there. They had good craft beer, and like for Funny Brad and Large, it was kind of like Erie Street Kitchen, where you get up and you order your food here, you go to the bar, and you order your beers here. But there were the line of kids, like younger people, um, kids, like all down the street. And I looked, and there was a club called the Fillmore, and I'm like, oh, it's a concert venue. They're in line to get into a show. And so me and Jackie are walking. We're like, we got to find out what this huge line of kids is. And like the way they were dressed, like didn't indicate anything. Like if it was a goth show or a metal show or a punk show, there might have been something to give it away. There wasn't. So, and we were joking about like, excuse me, young people, like I'm hip. What are you guys waiting in line to see? But Jackie finally asked someone, and they were waiting to see a rapper called Young Gravy. Have any of you ever heard of Young Gravy? Because none of us had. And the 24-year-old who's with us, he said, he was like, Yeah, I have a younger brother and he listens to Young Gravy. He's like, I think it's like the 18 to 20-year-olds know him. I had never heard it. We put it on the way home. It's a white rapper who definitely, yeah, I don't know. Not our cup of tea, but I'm 43. So, yeah, I'm just curious if anyone knows who Young Gravy is. But we made all these jokes about how old we felt in this moment, and Jackie made the best joke. She was like, "Excuse, can you say that again? Can you say that into my good ear?" And then I then I was like, "Oh, so it's a soup restaurant?" You know, just all this stupid 43-year-old jokes. So Young Gravy, this has got to be a joke. Nope. Jay Dandy says he knows Old Gravy. So when I told Jay Dandy your joke, when I called Erin and like to check in before I went to bed that night, I was telling her these stories too and how funny me and Jackie are, obviously. And Erin was like, "No." She was like, "I'm only familiar with his uncle, Old Gravy." So she made that joke as well. Joel Jones, you enjoy milk gravy? Isn't there a gay porn star named Young Gravy? There probably is. JMZ says no on Young Gravy and he's 41. I think you're still in my demographic, JMZ. So Traveling Through says no, that was Hung Gravy. Oh, what's up, Tony? Young Gravy, no. Dylan said Chamois Gravy. Large is more of a Young Biscuits kind of guy. I'm taking that as a no, that none of you know who Young Gravy is, even though there was a line like around a block for people to get into the Young Gravy show. So even though we do have some youngins in here, like what? I think Dylan, you're on the young. I mean, for the people who type, I know we have some people who don't, who just like watch. I think Dylan, you're on the younger end of the scale. So if you don't know Young Gravy, none of us know Young Gravy. So B's and G's, Brad. That would be, see, that would be a better rap name because that could stand for more things than Young Gravy could, right? Tony says I don't know who Young Gravy is and I'm 14. Let's see if I could try and uh, nah, it's not. It's too hard on this laptop. I was gonna say try and get into some of the Discord stuff, but I think we just, you know, on Tuesday when I'm home, we'll do like just a stream that's getting into everything that's happened on the Discord and go down all the rabbit holes that has to go to. Like, look at all the bike pics I missed this week while I was gone, and someone mentioned the back bike. Funny Brad mentioned the bike packing thread has been popping off, as the young gravy fans say. Uh, so, yeah, I just think, well, I'll save that all when I could do it and we could enjoy it, and I'm not like struggling to try and do it. So, yeah. Oh my God.
Traveling Through super chatted $19.99. No gravy over here, just these balls.
Thank you, Traveling Through, and that was hilarious. No gravy over here, just these balls. Were you guys able to hear that? Because I didn't hear it. I don't have my audio on somehow. I meant to put my headphones on, and again, it was just like a trying to pull this off. I was also talking to Erin on the phone when I was getting this set up, and she was like, "Are you even listening to me?" And I'm like, "Yes, but I'm also fine." Like, and I'm trying to figure out how to live stream from Charlotte. So, yeah, they're sitting right here. So, yeah. Large says Young Gravy's big on TikTok. Rick's name is Young Pierogi. Oh, you guys were able to hear it. Good, good. I hate when someone super chats and you can't. I mean, that's not even like a requirement. It's just the way we've built this stream. It's like if you don't hear the British guy say it, it didn't count. You know. No, that was just right. That was just right. 1999 is nice. That's definitely pays for me to do this instead of sitting back and watching the Olympics again tonight. So Young Gravy is not on Pandora. I think he is. We found it. We listened to one song on the way home, and I assumed that we were listening to Pandora. Someone linked up their phone. Me and it's so funny. So we have two cars. There's six of us, and it's me and Wes, who's been my buddy for like over 20 years, in the front, and I'm navigating. We haven't. My phone is synced to the car stuff, and we can't get the map to go up. I can't get it to play my music, and I think the 24-year-old dude in the back is just like, these fucking idiots. I'm not even jumping into this conversation. I'm not even trying to help these two grandpas out. Like I said, we almost miss every turn because we just jump into these conversations about stuff that happened to us in 2005, and like, we're way back in the past, and he's just like, these idiots can't navigate, they can't operate the car, like stuff. But the night that we listened to Young Gravy, like we had dropped a couple of the people off at the hotel, and only four of us were out. And Jackie, who's our age too, but she had it all like linked up and was able to pull up the Young Gravy, and I assume she pulled it up on Pandora. Isn't that what you? Did I just say Pandora? Is that the right one? Yeah, I didn't say like Napster or something, right? Jamesy said him, please no one look up Young Gravy. It's not that very good. I missed Dylan's comment that Large is responding to. All right. See you, Lanky. Thanks. Thanks for saying safe travels. I hope this weather will change, and the weather that I'm getting today is not that far off back at home. I was saying to Wes when we were sitting outside in 7 degrees, like drinking a beer, I'm like, how long is it going to be till we get to experience this weather again? But yeah, so hopefully we're all able to start getting together again, because of the weather. Pandora's the wrong one. What is that one? Oh, Spotify. I meant to say Spotify. God damn it. I meant to say Spotify. Yeah. I feel like this must have been Pudgy. Did he lead me down this road? So there we go. Tony's got me. He's the one who's not making fun of me and just getting the facts out here. And he says, Young Gravy's top track has almost 200 million streams on Spotify. Pudgy.
Pudgy Pedal Pusher Super Chatted $1.99. It's a Pandora joke, you pine cone. Good gravy, man. Banana.
It's Pandora, you pine cone. Good gravy, man. A Pandora. He is a white rapper, and then I felt he's a white mapper. Yeah. He's a. I like Jay Dandy's mapographer. I think I said that once, trying to think of the word cartographer. Is someone who makes maps, right? Oh man, amazing! Anyone is still watching me. Pudgy's Pandora joke threw me off. Let's be honest. Yeah, Jay Dandy is my favorite white mapper as well. So Pandora, and I will apologize, Jay Dandy, for a light mapping episode. Uh, he's topographically insane. Topographically insane. Yeah. Do I need to try and pull a map up here just for the sake of having a map on the stream? If this crashes the stream, I'm just shutting it down without the outro for the record. But I will try and pull some maps up here. I could show you guys where I am at the very least. And again, right now I can't see. I'm just see you guys or what any of my controls are. So is this where I am? How do I do this without a mouse? That's the other problem. I needed all the control of I needed all my ports for everything I have plugged into it to stream, so I don't have a actual mouse while I'm doing this. Come on. Oh, this must be where I am. Let's see if I can get this. Yeah, so we're in Huntersville at this. I think we're at this Hampton. Maybe? I don't know. Oh, yeah, I'm right by the Bojangles. I could see it outside my window. We keep talking about getting over to that Bojangles. Um, damn it. Come on, do my bidding, PC. Oh, that Pinkies, we went there. That was kind of like their winking lizard around here. It wasn't bad. So yeah, there, you could see this nightmare of freeways they have going on here as you try and get from the northern suburbs and go straight down 77. Yeah, and then Charlotte proper, so that's about, you could see what that distance would be. And I've only been to like I said, the NASCAR Hall of Fame and Noto and all that stuff have not been around the downtown, and that's my goal for tomorrow night. Shoot some footage for the show and just also get to see what it looks like. My buddy Kyle told me they've planted a bunch of trees downtown that are really cool. So yeah, got a little maps in there. So oh, my camera turned off again, huh? Why didn't anyone tell me? Oh, because I can't see the chat. See you, party guys. If you're gone forever, I'm sorry I missed the goodbye on you. Dylan said, "Good move, party size. Why am I still here?" Bojangles are everywhere around here, Rob. And do you guys have them up in Minnesota? Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota. That sounded wrong to me for a second. Yeah, Joel Jones says he's been stuck on all those highways. I'm sure you have, because now I have too. So from sitting on my couch, right behind me, I think I said this earlier, I could see the Bojangles light, which is so funny. We haven't made it over there yet. They actually have a decent continental breakfast here, so I'm like, I walk downstairs, I get it, but we keep talking about we have to go to the Bojangles. And there's two ways into where we park, but it's so funny because every time it's just been an accident that we started going the one way, so Wes always is driving, and we go past the Bojangles and around and park. And then one day when like the other crew was part of them were in our car, they're like, "Why are you guys going that way?" And we're like, and Wes like, "Oh, I could go straight." And we're like, "Nope, we go and drive by and pay our respect to the Bojangles before we go home." And it's become this thing. We know we can just go to our hotel parking lot like closer this way, and still even today, what, fifth day of this thing, we drive around the whole hotel and go by the Bojangles, and like Wes always tips his hat. It's so dumb, but one of those things that just develops on a trip like this. So we're like, man, we got one more morning to get over to the Bojangles, so I might have to get up a little early and make it over there. So yeah, Robin, like I said, there was a couple neighborhoods I saw like bike stuff happening, but in general, this is a very car-oriented city for sure. Oh, Pudgy, there are Cheerwine billboards out here. So I've had Cheerwine, like West Point Market, for those of you who remember that, from the Akron area, used to sell it, so I know I had it way back in the day. But yeah, there are actually billboards for Cheerwine around and stuff. Even they're like 0 calorie. I didn't realize, I thought it was like one of those like, there's one factory in PA that makes all these sodas, pops, and then they just like pop a label on it, and it could be like anyone could get them made. I thought, I thought Cheerwine was old school, and like anything new you saw was just like a niche, private label type thing. But yeah, that's a real deal down here. Like I said, there's billboards for Cheerwine and all that stuff. So, oh, Robin, you're getting your Bojangles down in Alabama. Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't think they'd be in Minnesota if they're not in Ohio. Definitely a southern thing. They have the what's their big thing? The bacon butter or maple syrup butter, something like that. There's a lot of that at the barbecue places and all that around here. All right, I got to get off. I can't sit here and keep drinking and chatting because I've got a long freaking day tomorrow. But long freaking day. Who am I? Peter from Family Guy. Bojangles has young gravy. It's made fresh daily. I know that I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm glad I got on and I got to chat with you guys. Large, Funny Brad, can't wait to get out and ride again. I know a lot of you have left, but the other local guys, Dylan, Jay Dandy, can't wait to try and meet up again. Spring is coming. We should all be able to get, like everyone locally should be able to get together soon. We'll move farther on planning actual group rides where we could, people who are farther away can get together if they feel like it. I'm exciting about all of that stuff. So yeah, right now though, yeah, I'm having a good time. I like traveling, but yeah, definitely missing my friends. Definitely missing my bikes. So love all you guys though. Thanks so much for being here. Like, yeah, feels really good to have a taste of home right now. I guess the stream is home, even though, yeah, it doesn't matter where the location is. But all right, I will definitely see you guys on Tuesday. Hoping to get out on Sunday and ride my bike, and so I can make a video and have my normal Monday upload, but can't guarantee that. It's, is what it is. I'm happy to be out here doing this, and, can't guarantee the YouTube side of things, with this crazy life that, yeah, I've somehow built. But yeah, love you guys, and I will talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Cause
Yeah.
this is not our
Fitzwater photo.